Okay. So I think we'll get started. I'm Andreea Porcelli. I am the CEO of the Post-Pandemic SPAC, and we're very excited to be presenting the Discover Italia vertical, which of course has a fixed company target, which is Onda Group. And Onda Group CEO is with us today, Luigi Martinez from Sicily. We also have as the speakers, we'll let you know who will be presenting. We have Mauro Tosi, who is the CEO of Ledcom, a company based in Milan, which is also partnering with Onda Group. We have Chris Paget, who is the COO of TAG Investment Bank, and Chris Wickham, who is an investment analyst and consultant for SGF Evergreen Research, who's done some research on Onda Group. So at the end of the presentation, there will be a Q&A session. And of course, you're more than welcome to write your questions in the chat box. We are moving on to, let's see, the next slide, please. So some of you have already seen this interview. We were interviewed by Jane King on the Innovators Show, myself and Luigi. As we said, this is a very special kind of a target because it is both a green energy play that's really, benefiting from the shift to sustainable energy, which is happening all over the world, but also we're benefiting here from the shift to remote work, and therefore people who now have the freedom to work from anywhere and choose to work from places like Sicily and Sardinia, which is of course where Onda Group is based. So why is Southern Italy benefiting from this inflow of people? First and foremost, of course, beautiful climate, much more affordable lifestyle, but also you have a highly educated population. So access to a great remote worker pool. So it's a great corporate destination in addition to a sort of a private consumer-based destination. So we think that Onda Energy is perfectly positioned to take advantage of this shift, mainly because they've been operating in these regions for the last 15 years. And they are highlighting the real estate investment opportunities as well as helping consumers to save on their energy bills, which of course creates loyalty among consumers. And that is key in the utility sector. This is a key competitive advantage that Onda Group currently has with their Efficiento app. So some key points about why they're strategically positioned. They are based again in Roma, Cagliari, and Siracusa. They are providing services all over Italy. And Efficiento is the killer application that they just launched with a major press conference at the end of November. We're going to be talking more about why this is a key differentiating factor for them in the high volume consumer market in Italy. More importantly, Onda has preferential relationships with regional governments in Southern Italy. And this definitely gives them another competitive advantage in taking advantage of eco bonus, which we're going to talk more about as well. So Efficiento is being provided all over Southern Italy currently, but they do plan to expand that to France and Spain shortly because they do have a very similar network frequency. More importantly, Onda has established partnerships with France, Switzerland, Spain, and Greece in order to expand utilities trading activity to those countries. So, who is Onda? They are a green energy provider profiting from the shift to sustainable energy and population movement. I am now going to turn it over to Luigi Martinez, who is the CEO of Onda Group, to make his presentation.
Thank you, Andrea. Good evening, everybody. I'm speaking from Syracuse in Sicily. This morning I was in Cagliari in Sardinia, the two market where we work since years, since the beginning of the privatization of the energy market in Italy that started about 15 years ago. And we ride all the time in order to follow the step. Was not so easy privatization, because a lot of problem in the beginning, because the regulation was not clear, because it's not easy to talk with the final customer and explain what could be the benefit. At the state of the art, I would say that the saving of the cost of energy are not so strong in this period, in this dynamics, like in all the other markets. So to compete in this market, you should be different. You should have something, some service, some feature, something who make the difference with the other operator. And that's why we develop the efficient, and we are going to explain very well what is an application that we launched, as Andrea said, in November last year. So recently launched. This was the exciting day of the launch with the press and so on. That in our vision make the really difference with the operator, and it will start a new way, a new market to data, to comparison, a new activity for all the operators, starting from us. We have two main companies, one in Sardinia, one in Sicilia, and an holding. This is the structure of the group. So three companies, total revenue is about 35 million this year. Current final customer is almost 50,000. We are not reaching the 50,000. We are about 42,000, but it increased day by day. Luckily, even in this period, that is not so easy to get a new customer. And this is the general distribution of the customer. The major part are in the islands, but we keep a small office, a small share market even in the other part of Italy. So we are ready to work even in the other part of Italy. I should say about 10,000 final customers spread out in all Italy. The strong office again in Sicilia and Sardinia. This is the typical picture we see every day when we wake up in the two islands. So as said several times, is a place where people are coming, where a new dynamics of movement people from the north to the island start already since months. We sell only green energy in order to achieve the famous target of 2020, where all the 20% of the renewable energy must come from renewable production. So we started 2 years ago. We reached this target like many other operators, and we start our research with three main questions. How many people know how much they spend for the energy bill? It could be a stupid question, but not everybody knows what is the expenses. How many people know how much they spend for the single kilowatt hour? And again, how many people know what is the single consumption of the device inside the house? Refrigerator, lamps, oven, whatever. The answer to the question, 53%, half of the people know what is the bill. Not all know what is the bill. 23% know how much they paid for the kilowatt hour. No one is able in Italy, and I would say in all Europe, to be aware of what is the single consumption of the single device in their house. If you ask yourself or any other else, what is the consumption of your refrigerator? They don't know. They don't know. Maybe there is an exception for a very small segment to use domotics application, but that's more to control, to check. It's something that probably Ledcom will speak later, but no one operator is able to provide this information until today. Again, the energy bill was built to confuse, because they didn't provide any useful information. We used to say in Italy that energy bill is like the tax bill. A lot of number, a lot of sigil, a lot of information that has nothing to relate to what your real expenses. Inside the bill, you can find the cost for the production, you can find the cost for the distributor, the owner of the network, you can find cost for the system, the renewable cost, you can find transportation costs, you can find tax, of course. A large part of the bill, about 35% are tax costs, but again, nothing to relate what is your real consumption inside the house. Probably they will put even a coronavirus taxes to confound again the bill. This is our bill. This is the bill we provide to our customer. A bill where you have the breakdown of the single consumption. I'm sorry, half of this is in Italian because we already provide this bill to our final customer. Oven, AC conditioner, frigo, electric vehicle, standby. We discovered that the standby are one of the the biggest consumer inside the house, lamps and others. So we are able to inform of what is the single consumption inside your house in the bill directly. So you can get in and decide to change, to switch off, or to leave it like this, but you are aware of what is the single consumption. And we do this by this small device that we produce with a partner, English partner, Voltware, and we develop the system, the software, and all the application you need to get this result. What are the typical effects in terms of economic effects? Efficiento reduce the churn. One of the major problems for the utilities is the customer that you lose every day, every month, every year, and the new one that you are obliged to do in order to equilibrate this factor. Efficiento reduce up to 10%, because since we are the first and the only, the unique that we have this kind of technology, no one other operator today in Italy and in Europe can offer the same features. Efficiento increase the margin. Increase the margin up to 7% today because we provide another service and the customer is willing to pay for this service, and will increase the margin much more when the technology that we are developing with Ledcom together will get the eco bonus. We will talk later about this, but if we will be able to match the technology and to reduce and to make directly an efficiency inside the house, we will get the eco bonus that will increase again the margin. Efficiento reduce the credit risk, because day by day you are informed, you are aware of what is your consumption. You don't pay the bill basically when you receive something that you were not expecting. If you expect 100 euros of bill and you receive 200, 300, typical reaction is stop paying. But if you are informed day by day, if you can control all the single consumption of the device, if you discover in the months that you have a refrigerator or some lamps somewhere that are that increase the consumption, you are much more willing, you are much more ready to pay the bill, and so to reduce the credit risk. These are the estimated, not estimated for 2020, estimated for the other 2 years figures, economic figures for the company. Last year we closed with 1.9 EBITDA. This year we increased thanks to Efficiento because this dynamics is already going. The revenue will be increased just 7 million from 28 to 35. Next year, 2020, we expect to almost double with the EBITDA and increase the revenue for a significant percentage. In Sardinia, we are participating. 2 days ago, I was in a table with the local government with the infrastructure for the smart city. The major part of the recovery fund that are arriving in the 2 islands, in Sardinia and Sicilia, are destined to smart city and efficiency. We expect that thanks to the partnership with LEDCOM and so on, we will be able to work in this and to have a significant share of this activity. We could even increase the margin because of the super bonus that is 100% of credit tax. So you can sell your service for free. That means that you can sell your service for free. That's why you increase the margin. And in 2022, we expect from this 2 million of extra margin just for this. So basically, Onda Group, through this SPAC, will acquire more energy assets in the European market, like technology, like other operators that are willing to sell their customer, and this will make strong position in the island and will be ready to work even in other countries, not only Italy, but in other parts of Europe. We had a significant, as we already said, revenue growth in these years, thanks to the consortium, we would say, with LEDCOM, with the activity we are starting. We can address over than 8,000 municipalities, but I would leave this explanation and the other activities to Mauro Tosi, that is the CEO of LEDCOM and know very well what could be this kind of market and how we can achieve this kind of project, this kind of activity. So Mauro, if it's okay, I will leave this explanation to you.
Absolutely fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mauro Tosi. I'm the CEO of LEDCOM International. We are a high-tech company based at a spin-off of Politecnico di Milano, one of the best technical universities in Italy. And what we do is, Luigi said something about our activity. It's difficult to be brief about this, but the main thing that we could say is that we provide energy savings and smart city services through the lighting infrastructure. And when I say this, I don't mean just utilizing the poles. I mean taking the driver, which is the power supply of the LEDs, and making it become a very smart and intelligent part of the equipment. For example, first of all, we have a couple of patents, international patents in the US, Russia, India, China, Canada, and Europe, of course, for energy savings. So the first thing our driver does, it saves a lot of energy. The second thing, it integrates the smart city functionality that you can provide just by simply putting the driver inside the luminaire to power up the luminaire. And when I say smart city services, you can control, for example, water, power, or gas meters, see, from inside the driver, as you can see from the picture there. So, and the final goal of the company is actually to turn each light point into a 6G microcell, but that's a separate story, which is not of interest with this discussion. So why are we have very strong synergies with Onda Energia? Well, first of all, because if you talk about street lights, the way we operate is we go to municipalities, and we have relationships with many of them, and take advantage of a very interesting PPP regulations that we have in Italy. You can propose the project to the municipality. The municipality has to come back to you in a couple of months if the project is of public interest, and is forced to issue a tender based on your project. And you have the right to match the winning proposal as well, because you were the first one to get there. So what we do is we go to municipalities and say, hey, do you want to save energy on your streetlights infrastructure and at the same time provide your citizens with smart city services, car park controls, traffic controls? And when we win the project, it's just natural to say we have a partner which provides very interesting, cheap energy, renewable energy. Why not putting this in the package as well? So basically, we work as a channel for Onda Energia on these municipality projects. But we don't do this only on street lights outdoor. We also work inside the houses. For example, we have big projects with the council homes here in the north of Italy. And we propose, same story, we propose a PPP project to upgrade the infrastructure of these residential houses. And at the same time, we put in the package the Onda Energia services, particularly the utilization of Efficiento, which becomes very useful for our project because it adds to our offering something that other people don't have, and useful, of course, for Onda Energia because they can come into the same project with us. So we are very much in a synergy in this respect. And because we are based in Milan, in the north of Italy, we cover an area where Onda is present, as Luigi said, but not in force. I mean, they have a few offices around here, but we are much more present. They cover the south of Italy. Both of us have very good international relationship, particularly Luigi with Greece, Spain, France, and Ledcom with the UK and the Anglo-Saxon countries and the US, where we are developing part of our 6G system. So the synergy basically between Ledcom and Onda will provide Onda with a strong technology base and also very strong market channels for future expansion. And that's, in a nutshell, this is what we do.
Thank you, Mauro. This is our team, the general manager in Sardinia and the CFO, and again, the same in Sicily. They follow the local market. They have a very good relation. They were born in that area, so they keep controlling all the possibility, the opportunity in the market. They develop channel to the market, I would say, each month. Each month they invent something new, but they need the technology to address this market. That's why, again, the synergy between the two companies could win if we ride this moment, if we ride this period in which all the population and all the flow is coming in our island. Finally, why this is the very good investments? Again, the super eco bonus or the normal eco bonus that will work until 2023, it was extended another year. It's the best way to address the market in energy efficiency with this technology. The Efficiento give an incredible advantage in the market because till now no one has the possibility to make this breakdown of the invoice and to communicate to the final customer what they are, what is their consumption. The utilities again are expected to benefit from this shift of population. So again, Sardinia and Sicilia will increase the people, the demographic situation, and again the SPAC will help the rise that we will make with the SPAC will help to engage other companies like us in the other part of Italy in order to develop the market and to provide the technology even outside of the island. What else? Why I'm in Italy is a SPAC listing, but I would leave this to Andreea that probably write this topic just much better than me, and she follow us since time and she know very well what is this direction. Andreea.
Thank you, Luigi. So why did we choose AIM Italy? Number one, it is the second largest market for SPAC listings in the world behind the NASDAQ and NYSE. It is the only exchange which allows SPACs to name their company target prior to listing. So it takes away the mystery surrounding, will you be able to actually deploy the funds of the SPAC? And we feel it makes the SPAC much more successful. In fact, on a side note, the average trading bonus upon listing on AIM Milan for SPACs with a specific company target is about 40%. So AIM Italy is also a part of the London Stock Exchange Group, which means that it offers easy access for companies to dual list via a SPAC listing on both exchanges, and we certainly plan to pursue that for additional liquidity. Okay, so moving along, who is the team behind this, behind the Discovery Italia post-pandemic SPAC? Myself, obviously a lot of you know me from Swiss Growth Forum. I've been working in investment banking my entire career and spent over 20 years basically representing companies in the EU, as well as, of course, my previous company, Monaco Growth Forums, was the only PR company to be acquired by a public company in Europe in 2017. Joseph Konowiecki, who's the chairman of Alignment Healthcare, that's going to go public within the next few weeks at a 3 billion plus market cap on NASDAQ. He's also the former general counsel of United Health Group and was instrumental in basically selling Pacific Care to United Health Group for 9.2 billion. And Gerrit Van Wagner, whose name is pretty much synonymous with .com IPOs. He managed 20 billion at Van Wagner Funds and is currently engaged in a venture capital fund for electric vehicles. So what are we talking about today? We're working on closing out the sponsor round. That round is limited to 1 million euro. And the next round, of course, is going to be up to 20 million euro for a post-money valuation of at least 40 million euro for Onda Group. I mean, that's obviously still all in the works. It may be higher than that, of course. The sponsor group is Post-Pandemic Inc. The placement agent for the preferred round is Tag Investment Bank London. And you will receive basically a link to our page on their website, which allows you to subscribe directly. And the law firm is Tanucci Partners of Rome. Of course, the term sheet and subscription documents are live online, and the minimum investment is 25,000 euros per unit. So once again, just to go over the terms, we're offering up to 200,000 of the company shares, which are priced at 5 euros per share, for a maximum of 50% of the total shares issued by the company at closing. The warrant coverage is 100% for people investing over 100,000 euros. That means that for every share of stock at 5 euros, you will get an additional warrant at 5 euros, which is exercisable within 1 year. And this is, I think, the most interesting part is there is no lockup effectively. As soon as the full amount of the public SPAC has been raised and we initiate trading, we will give an option to all of the sponsor group participants to sell back their shares to us at 10 euros per share, which is the issue price of the SPAC shares. On the other hand, if you want to stick around and see where it goes, which we think it'll perform very well, there will be a 90-day lockup. This is normally, requested by the nomads just to make sure everybody's not trying to sell at once. This may or may not be necessary. That just depends on how oversubscribed we are. So basically, investors are guaranteed liquidity once the SPAC minimum is reached, which is 20 million euro, we will buy back their shares at double the price of what they paid on the sponsor round. And the closing date for the sponsor round is March 31st. So just quickly, our timeline, we're going to close out sponsor round on the 31st, April 15th. We will announce the engagement of a nomad and also a listing prospectus, which we expect to be mostly complete by then. April 16th through May 15th is when we will open up the public SPAC offering round. And then by May 16th, we plan to close the public SPAC round and start trading, hopefully no later than June 10th. So for this part, I'm going to hand it over to Chris Paget, who is the COO of TAG Investment Bank in the UK.
Thank you, Andrea, and good afternoon, everybody. We're very pleased to be associated with the PPR SPAC, in particular Discover Italia vertical, as we are at the moment, with the acquisition of Onda. We are running the Escrow account, which will take in any subscriptions to investors into this pre-SPAC round initially. And as a regulated financial institution in Europe, we are using our Euro account in Portugal to do this, and details of which can be found on one of our websites on TWEC, PPRS. Obviously, I'm available for if anybody wants any further information. But if you look at the PPRS website to go in, you will see the details of what is of the offering online. So we have their executive summary of Onda. We have a copy of this slideshow. We have a basic detailing of investor status descriptions, and we have the term sheet itself and a very simple subscription agreement. That can then be all filled in online with one single form submitted to us, and in return, you will receive the details of the account to put your funds into escrow. So the other side that we're carrying out is marketing to our own subscribers and investors. So in our normal fundraising guise, we market projects as we are with this SPAC to some 45,000 subscribers to our newsletters and information sheets. These people are worldwide and are generally attached to the financial markets, so we can get a lower investment rate. We are able to offer the investment to retail investors at 150 per country within Europe, as well as obviously accredited investors. We then also market to our 5,000 to 6,000 accredited investor group, which covers family offices, banks, high net worth individuals, and other financial institutions. So the actual distribution, obviously from the people who are investing in this pre-SPAC round, is going to be very interesting, is that the money is going to be coming in from these groups of people that we, along with other contacts within the SPAC itself, the PPR SPAC itself, will be distributed to. As it says here, obviously there's further information on both the Onda site, there's information on our site, and including upcoming webinars, podcasts, and other chats, etc.
Great. So there's our information page. These are, of course, my contacts, Chris's contacts, and we have Luigi's contacts as well on the final page. So that wraps up our formal presentation. We're very excited about getting this public. This will most likely be the first green energy SPAC to be listed in the EU so far this year. So I'm sure it's going to capture a lot of attention from sustainable funds and family offices alike. So at this point, I'd like to open it up to any questions. and feel free to use your chat box if you like.
Everything perfectly clear.
Okay. I do have a question here about, let's see if I can open it totally. So we don't have, I think there was some miscommunication in the past. First of all, Jaguar was never meant, the question was, how will Jaguar shares correlate with the new SPAC? Essentially, Jaguar was never going to be acquired by the SPAC. It was meant to be their European subsidiary, which they've just currently set up, NAPO EU. So that is not a part of this vertical or this SPAC. I believe they are talking to a SPAC called Dragon SPAC currently. So very good question. I'm glad we could clear that up. I also think it's important to note that this particular offering will have a lot of European fund support, not only because it's sustainable, but because it is a particular EU target. It is a company, with operating revenues and great margins. So that was not necessarily going to be the case with NAPO EU. We think this is a much better initial target for the PPR SPAC. But thanks for the question. So I do want to mention as well, I mean, I think the main advantage of this sponsor round is obviously that people will, basically double their money. I mean, the only risk is, time to trading. We believe we've minimized that risk, and we believe we're going to be ready to trade by basically early part of June, possibly sooner. In any case, it's a very quick turnaround. And of course, we will be keeping everybody informed with ongoing webinars, ongoing press releases as the offering advances. And, we do have a very wide reach through our joint networks, myself, my company's network, Swiss Growth Forum, Post-Pandemic Recovery, as well as TAG Investment Bank. And of course, Onda's investors as well. They're a very well-known entity in Europe and in Italy. So we plan to welcome them as well into the group. Do we have any other questions? Okay, well, this has been recorded. So we will be distributing the link to the online recording. It will also, of course, be posted on TAG Investment Bank's link, or basically our webpage, I should say, within TAG Investment Bank and the post-pandemic SPAC.com website. So we welcome your questions going forward, and look forward to seeing you again on future webinars. Thank you very much for your participation. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
How long are we staying on?
Hi, Luigi, how are you? I guess you're good.